早上好，你好吗？我很棒，为这一天感谢上帝。我希望你一切都好。I can't give you subtitles right now. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. I have a lot of really great energy to give you today. I'm going to talk to you about how to practically include the minerals in your children's diet so they can properly produce their own enzymes naturally through their food. And of course, that'll work for you too. It works for me, it worked for them, it'll work for everybody for the rest of time because it's just because we're humans. It's not because I'm a Canadian. It's not because I'm a male. It's not because of my money. It's not because of anything else besides the fact that I am a creature of nature. And these are the rules that nature has given us. So I follow them. And in that, there is no temptation for the other products because, well, my efforts have removed those temptations. Those products are not even appealing to me. I don't even want them anymore. And to you, almost like I said, to us, the birds are singing, but they don't know music. Well, to you, you're looking at me thinking, how is he fighting the temptation? And I'm sitting here telling you, there is no temptation. That's how. Because I make my own enzymes every day for so long. I barely sleep. Do I seem tired to you? I'm not. But I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to make it till 2 a.m. I'll probably have to crash a little bit early, like say 11. I'll sleep 6 hours, but then I'll have to go to bed. Because I've been living this way for so long. And my sleeps are only about 5 hours a day generally, right? And they really feel like naps. I just feel like I'm constantly living. Like when I wake up, it literally feels like I'm waking up and I think, well, what was I just doing? And then I just keep doing it. And so I've lived that way for a while because of the self-enzyme creation thing. And so I know my body and my rules for my sleep. I know I'm going to have to catch up a little bit tonight, but it won't be what you think. And then tomorrow I'll just get up and go about my day. And that's very normal to me. It is very much so my understanding. I live this way because of my purity in my own enzyme creation through my food and my diet and avoiding the poor foods and the poor choices, removing food addictions. Now I just feel like I'm pretty much living. And so I hope you can take all this seriously. I know it's a lot to take in at once. I am extremely broke and I do this on no money in a common grocery store. And I'm going to help you understand a little bit right now by telling you how I have improved Elvis's breakfast and personalized it for myself. And I have some things I like to point out along the way that help you understand why the way I eat it does what it does for me and why Elvis liked it. Do you know what Elvis's breakfast generally was? It was a peanut butter banana sandwich, but he'd fry it like a grilled cheese sandwich, right? Well, my breakfast was also a regular peanut butter banana breakfast on toast. And this is what I did with it. This is very serious to me. I can't eat white bread. I cannot eat white bread. Right now, in my current circumstance, when I eat white bread, it's like dropping a dead leaf on a fire. And I know why. There's nothing in it. It's full of carbs. It's going to leave me hungry in like an hour. So it's good to pull the chain on the lawnmower per se, but it's got no gas to keep it running. So I do not eat white bread, and that was the first big change that I made to Elvis's breakfast to personalize it to myself and make it better. I only buy grain breads. Now, the grain breads have a lot of the minerals that you need to activate your vitamins. So if you could ditch the white bread and just buy grain breads, a lot of people eat bread every day. By including the grain bread, you're including some of those minerals that you need. And if you get your children off of the white bread and off the whole wheat bread and just on like a grain bread, well, they won't know any different and they'll be getting their minerals. Not all of them, but again, you don't have to put them all in one meal, and they're generally good for about 36 hours, but they need to be included. And like I said, dropping a leaf in a fire, I know that probably makes sense to you in that context. So I replaced the bread. I will not buy white bread. Now, his peanut butter very likely had sugar in it. My peanut butter has nothing but peanuts in it. And that strips me of the sugar addiction and gives me just the quality minerals that I would get from the peanuts. And it also skips the preservatives. So I upped the game in reference to the peanut butter as well. From there, I add ground cinnamon. It's fresh ground cinnamon that I grind here myself. Something quickly about cinnamon. It is known to fight depression. It's not like if you have depression, you eat it and it just goes away. And if you have clinical depression, sensitively, obviously, you know you need to take care of that. And you most likely do with help from a professional, thankfully. But if you include cinnamon, you earn cinnamon's effects. So I include cinnamon all the time. And how cinnamon is helping fight off depression is it allows the electrodes in your brain to just flow more fluently. And that's how it fights depression, is because it allows them to operate. So I added the cinnamon to the peanut butter toast as I described it. And this is a really important one. I add pepitas, which are like the little green pumpkin seeds. And very directly, our children can really benefit from including seeds in general. Chia seeds and pepitas. And what other ones do we have in the cupboard here? Flaxseed. You can actually add them to like a pasta sauce instead of your salt and pepper. If you're using cans of pasta sauce, a lot of the times those things already have some salt in it and everything. And I'm not beefing about the salt at this moment. But what I'm saying is, instead of adding salt and pepper, put flaxseed and chia seed in it. Not a whole lot. You have to, again, research and just have a good idea of how much to put in. But you can see how, in that, the heating of the pasta sauce will activate those seeds and get the minerals that are in those seeds. You know, everybody knows how awesome flaxseed and chia seed and stuff like that is for brain development and everything. Well, those things carry. Remember how I said the same mineral can activate a lot of vitamins? Well, the seeds have a ton of very useful minerals. So if you could do, like I said, like with the pasta sauce, now use your own creativity, of course, and add to that. You can start adding these seeds and things like that to pasta sauces. And I mean, even myself, when I make stir fries and stuff, I don't add salt and pepper to anything. But instead of adding salt and pepper, when my stir fry is going, I'll throw a little bit of chia and flaxseed in it. Maybe some white fungus and maybe a little bit of busted chaga or something. And just add those things to it instead of the salt and pepper and all those things. So that it doesn't really affect the taste of the vegetables and the food that I'm eating, but my body then has those minerals to activate the vitamins that I'm getting from eating the vegetables in the first place. So in that, I just make them myself. So to keep going with the toast thing, I did have the banana with it. But since I improved Elvis's breakfast in the way that I did, and I don't fry it, right? Well, I found it was too much food because I was getting full quicker because it was a higher quality consumption. And that was what allowed me to not eat the banana with it, but have the banana as a mid-morning snack, and then power charge my lunch, power charge my supper, and then not eat again until the next morning. And in that, I can live the way I do because that offers me enough opportunities to get all my enzymes created every day. So you can see how the improvements were made there. Likewise, when I eat lettuce, that also feels like dropping a dead leaf on a fire now that my stomach is used to the substance from spinach. I won't buy white bread and I'm not going to buy lettuce, but I will always buy my grain bread and I will always buy spinach. If you don't know how absolutely amazing spinach is for you, you need to discover that. You need to keep in mind that you don't really have to cook spinach. So if you're cooking like a stir fry and stuff, you want to include it. It's a good idea to cook it all up without the spinach, and near the end, when you're almost ready to take it out, or even if you wait to the end, and then add your spinach will heat up, but when you cook it, you're cooking things out of it. And you really don't need to cook your spinach that much. And when you don't, and you can eat it closer to raw, it provides you with so many internal miracles. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't overcook your spinach. But something else about it is the greens generally get hit harder with the pesticides. It's really important that you rinse your fruits and vegetables before you consume them. One thing that I do is when I get home and I have a thing of spinach, it's usually in a plastic container, I buy organic spinach, but I'll still open up the lid and just pour the water in it, rinse it around for a second, use the lid almost like a strainer to pour the water out, stick it in the fridge then. And I know that I rinsed it all good before I even bother putting it in the fridge. And then sometimes I'll still rinse it again, but you don't really have to. And I know that I can get a little obsessive about it due to the way I live. But I do think coming home with your spinach and rinsing it before you put it in the fridge is a good idea. How do you know what to buy organic? You should buy your greens organic if you can. And then from there, anything that you eat every day, well, you should consider buying that organic. But the thing about organic is it's generally more expensive, and we know why. So I eat bananas every day. I buy organic bananas. So that's the concept. You need to apply it to your own. And I'm sure you could understand the severity to what you do every day kind of stuff in reference to how you choose your organics. So I think those are some things that will be able to help push you along in reference to all that. I know that's a lot to take in, but I'm confident that it'll all intuitionally make sense to you, and then you have to find ways to include it yourself. I strongly suggest removing sugar, especially from your children's breakfast. I don't agree with any of the products that push sugar into our children's mouths at breakfast time. It fucks over their whole day. It's like you get up and you eat it, and then that expectation is born. And so I don't do that. And I know the difference, because like I said about how I improve the breakfast, well, if you improve your child's breakfast in similar ways, customizable ways, and leave the sugar out, well, when your child is in school, those 2 hours in, instead of getting antsy from reaction of what they ate, well, they're going to stay full and focused. And they're not going to stress until lunch comes, because of the quality of their breakfast, not the size of their breakfast, the quality. I'm going to conclude that conscious eating talk. I have some more I'd like to say about it, but I'll do it at another time. I have some really exciting news about my music. Do you like my music? It doesn't really matter, but if you do, thank you. I know that there's people out there that do. It's nice for me, 41 years old, to finally have people that like my music. But all the same, I love you all. And very directly, it is numerically impossible for me to save this trailer as myself right now. I don't really know how I will possibly be able to save this trailer, and I am under full understanding that come tomorrow morning, I'm going to have a lot of changes in my life, and you're not going to see me online nearly as much, because I have no choice. I have to do things to eat and survive. I have to find a home, all kinds of things. So that is very real, but I shouldn't have done it. what I did, and like financially I shouldn't have done it, but I did, and I paid a fee, and I managed to save my music online for another year. So my albums will remain online for download for another year anyway, now that the fee was made. It doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but in my current circumstance, I was struggling with it. I know it was coming offline because I was really feeling it, and I don't feel like it was a financially responsible move, but I did it anyway. So I appreciate all the support I get, and I am going to have to be absent more often, and it's not really up to me, and I'm going to keep working on what I'm doing. But in the meantime, as you can see, you don't really need me to really lay it out for you much more than I am, because I'm not telling you exactly what to eat. I'm telling you how to eat. So then you have to make the decisions in your own life. I have posted a lot of videos to my YouTube that are in reference to my conscious eating plan, very direct, open speech about it. Now, I am not excluded from the things that I say. I also have to keep myself balanced, but I do. And those things on there are not going to change because they're just human facts. They're not because I'm me, it's because I'm a human. So, you know, if you are taking all this seriously, you can go and shift through some of those videos and see what resonates with you and try to help yourself be healthier mentally, physically, and spiritually. We're all just humans. The greatest sin on earth is robbing yourself of inner peace, but you got to do it. And nobody's going to just hand you your inner peace. You have to discover it yourself. You have to develop it yourself. So you're not going to be able to do that if your body doesn't trust you to take care of it as a creature of nature, because you are a creature of nature and that's what it wants you to do. So with that said, I am going to post my economy talk at some point today. I do have to go back to the kitchen and work again today. I'm about to get some food prep done and progress with my day. I understand that I'm saying a lot of big things, but I feel like big things are happening. And the economy talk is not a game to me in reference to something has to be done. The people are not being protected. The children are hurting. Personally, my grandparents weren't protected. My parents weren't protected. I'm not protected. And to be very direct, I got sick and tired of waiting for these individuals to protect my health and my well-being. And I chose my health because I chose to live. And now, in my current circumstance, we're being governed towards dependency instead of self-sufficiency. And I can't agree with any of it. And that's not because I'm old school. It's because I'm a human. And it's intuitionally understood that if an individual works their share of properly taxed hours and they cannot supply a comfortable living for themselves, well, that's going to be mentally damaging, and that's what they're paying for protection from. And I know commonly a lot of people say, well, it's just the way it is, adapt to it. But no, that's not right. It is the way it is because of their lack of protection. And it's not right. What if you have a child and their two parents die, and that child is already facing something heavy, and it's impossible for them to survive as an individual because of the economy? That's very serious. You have to be able to work your full time hours, but then have a comfortable living for yourself. And if you can't, Well, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to work yourself into the ground and not even be able to afford a comfortable living? It's just illogical. It's numerically illogical. It needs to be corrected. And I have no reason to believe it's going to get corrected unless they don't do it. Additionally, when a pandemic comes, that's when we need our protection. Not to get set up with $2,000 as we fall behind and then are accepted just to take these numerical whippings instead of getting the protection that we paid for. Well, that's a fraudulent deal on my family tree, and I don't appreciate it that much at all. And in this, I'm using my voice, and I'm trying to trigger a change for a healthier lifestyle for the world's children. Our language and our health through our food must always come above all currencies, because otherwise we have currency and no health, and we always have to be understood. And ultimately, that was the whole point in developing English as a world language in the first place, was so that we can all just be understood, because it really doesn't matter what language we're speaking. We just need to be understood, especially in the important stuff. And now we can, because the whole other half of the world learned English. We already know English, and we, as responsible human beings in 2022 that are facing all of these financial and health threats in the world, we need to use this to our advantage, hold peace and love in our hearts, and help these children and guide these children towards an advanced but modern lifestyle for the children. They need modern solutions. We cannot be expected to live like it's 2000, it's 2022. And in 2000, we are expected to live like it was 1980. It's 2022. We know the difference. And we, as conscious parents and responsible, civilized human beings, are going to maturely deal with it. I understand the severity and the relevance of my information. I appreciate your time and consideration. I love you all. 对所有人的和平与爱，再次感谢上帝。I'll be back online in a little bit. 我爱你们，再见。